Hello, welcome into my workshop and welcome to the show Creations in Clay. My name is Louis Palladini, and tonight I'd like to do a fish, a very interesting fish. It's called a coho salmon. And what I like about this fish is during the spawning season, they develop these hook-like jaws. See that? It almost looks like a little beak. And it's a very interesting fish. I'll show you the types of clay that we can use. There's this oil-based clay, which never hardens, and I used to use this all the time as a kid, and it's a great clay. Once I got bored with all the animals that I made, I just made new ones. And it never hardens, but the other type of clay is this air-hardening clay, which hardens like in a couple hours or overnight, and you can paint it and it'll become permanent. My preference for the clay is a clay called Super Sculpey, which can be fired in the oven at about 275 degrees for about 15 or 20 minutes. And you can drill it, sand it, you can make a tremendous amount of detail. I'll show you the size balls of clay that we'll be using tonight. We will be using this size ball right here this is going to be used for the water base. And then for the actual salmon, for the body, we're going to be using this. And then I'll be using the additive technique also. I have some extra clay here on the side, which I'll be using to develop the fins. The first thing that we want to do is, I'll show you on this model, we want to develop the water base right here. See that? And I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to take the clay here, and I'm going to try to stretch it out a little bit, flatten it out. See how I'm pushing with my fingers there, flattening it? And just keep pushing like that. Just like that. Just take the fingers and squeeze it. Keep squeezing it to lengthen it out. Just like that. And then at some point, we're going to put it down on the table. What I'll do here, I want to pull it out a little more. Just like that. See how I'm doing that? Pulling it out, stretching it. And now, I want to put this down on the table. And then just kind of round the edges. See, I'm taking my fingers and just rounding it. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Then I'll pull it up and I'll try to stretch it a little bit more. See that? How I stretch that? And we'll put that back on the table. What I'm also going to use tonight is tin foil, which can be bought, in the supermarket or a drugstore. And you just roll it up, crinkle it. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of just tap this ever so slightly to create that water-like texture. We're going to go all the way around. See how I'm doing that? And then tap it, go around. And then what I also want to do is we're going to take the tin foil and I'm going to kind of make like squiggly lines. So I'm going to kind of see how I'm just kind of going like this. And it will just kind of like, almost like an S shape. And I'll show you what it will look like. See that nice texture right there? And that's what it should look like when it's done. The next thing that we want to proceed to make is the body. And that is, what we're going to do is we're going to make the fish's body, the salmon. We're going to make the tail, and we're going to make the body here, and then I'm going to try to make like the hook-like jaws. And I'll show you how I'll proceed to do that. I'm going to take this, squeeze it like this. Just like this. See how I'm pulling this out, stretching it. just going to keep pulling it. Just like that. See that? Going to keep squeezing it flat. See, I'm taking my fingers and squeezing it and flattening it out a little bit. Just like that. It's very good for strengthening your fingers when you're doing this. I just want to see if it's approximately the same size as the model I originally created. It looks like it's roughly the same size. You can see that there. Try to get my hand out of the way. And now we'll proceed to make the tail. So what I do here, see I'm just kind of, see I'm making that shape, and then I'm flattening it out. And we'll do the same for both sides. See how I'm flattening that? I'll show you how I'm flattening that from the side. I'm flattening that. And now I kind of want to bring that almost to a point. See how I'm making that, see that shape for the point? And then I'm going to flip it over and try to do the same thing for the other side. Just like that. And we'll try to make that a little smaller. And one of the things that I want to do is kind of smooth out the body. So what I'm going to do is actually put this down on the table, like this, and then I'm just going to take my thumb and try to smooth this out a little more. Just kind of run it along like that. That way we get a nice smooth body. See how nice and smooth that's starting to look? And the next thing that I want to do is, now that we've done that, I want to take and create the head, or the hook-like jaw. See how I'm doing that? So kind of building that up like that. And then what we're doing is we want to kind of bring that up and over like that, almost like a hook, almost like a beak. Just like that. See how I did that? And that's what it should look like at this point in time. And then what we'll do is we'll use the additive technique. I'm going to get some clay over here on the other side. And I'm going to take a little piece about this size. About that size there. And I'm going to make the lower jaw. So what I'm going to do is take this, squeeze it from both sides. Just like that. And what I want to do is I want to put it roughly, it's going to be roughly in that spot there. So what I want to do is I want to look at my model that I had previously done, and I want to make it look similar to that. So I'll try to get my fingers out of the way so you can see. Oops. Yeah. See that? So what I'll do is I'll continue to work on this. And then for the lower jaw here, I'm just going to kind of work it. Just like that. See how I'm doing that? And then what I will do is I will get a toothpick. I want to kind of just work this in a little bit. See that there? To to make sure it's attached. Just like that. Okay, so see that? We're creating those hook-like jaws for the coho salmon. Then the next thing that I'd like to do is I want to make the eye. So I will put the eye, so you can see this angle here. We're going to put it right about here. Just going to rotate it. And then what I also want to do is I want to make some gill slits. So I'm going to make the first one right about here and go down. And then I'm going to make the second one right about here. And then what I want to do is for the lower part of this, we'll take and we'll just put some lines right here. And now what we're going to do is another thing that I want to also do is on the tail here, I want to create some lines. And we'll do this. See this here? Try to keep so you can just make a line like this. Just like that. Just keep, just draw the line like that. Just like that. And we'll just, don't worry if it's not perfect, you just want to create some lines there. So the next thing that we want to do is we actually want to make some more fins. So what I'll show you on the model, we want to do a fin right here, another fin right here, and then you're going to have 3 small fins here. So we'll proceed to make the one that's on top first. So I'll get a piece of clay here, approximately this size. I'll show you in my hand right there. See that size there? And then I'll show you, we're going to take this, flatten it out, just like that. See, I'm flattening it. And then what I want to do is make almost a triangle. Think of a triangle. Just like that. You want to make a triangle shape like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to proceed to put this on top right here. See that? And then what I'm going to do is take my toothpick and just kind of, see I'm doing that? I want to make sure that that's properly attached. I don't want it to fall off. And then we'll proceed to do that on the other side also. See that? We're going to make sure that it's attached on the back because that's very important. And then we'll proceed to make another fin. And I'll show you, we'll get a little piece for that. Just going to put this down here so I can see it. This ball of clay right here. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take and make this shape right here. So you flatten it out like this. And then we're going to take, and I'll show you. See the shape that I'm making right now? That's the shape that you want right there. See that? And we're going to proceed to put that right up on top here. And I'm going to take the toothpick and work that and do that. Now we want to make the fins that are on the bottom. So I'm going to take another piece of clay here. I want to make sure I have the right size. Just a little bit more clay. We want this size right here. And I'll show you. We'll flatten it out like that. And then the shape that I want, I'll show you the shape that we'll create. See how I'm kind of taking my fingers and go like that. Think of like an upside down triangle. And we're going to proceed to put that right under here. You know, don't worry if the proportions are a little off. It's just learning these techniques. See how I put that on there? And then I also want to flip it over and work it from behind to make sure that it's attached in the back there. So there's a couple more fins that we need to put there. Get another. We're going to get this size ball of clay right here. Now what I'm going to do is flatten it out like we did before. And do it this way. See the shape that I'm making right here? Flatten it out, and then do like that. So, what we're going to proceed to do is put that under here. And I'm going to attach it. We'll use that. And then we're going to proceed to make the last fin. So we're going to take this and just a little bit more. So flatten it out. See, I'm flattening it. And then what we're going to do so you want to kind of make this kind of shape. See that? That's the shape that you want. And I'll show you now. We're going to attach it right about here. Just going to attach it. And I'll show you. Now we get to make we're going to make the lines on those fins. So this here, we are going to go like this. See this? And then on the bottom here, kind of go straight across like that. And then on this one here, see the lines how I'm going? And then the one on the top here, we'll make those. So we're going to make them going in that direction. See how I'm doing that? Make sure. And then we're going to proceed to do this one. So what I'm doing, see that? I'm taking going straight across like that. And now you have your completed coho salmon, and it's now ready for firing in the oven. And now that we've fired the coho salmon in the oven, I do want to mention something that I forgot to mention last week. When we attach the water base, you can take your fingers and go like that to attach it from that side like that. And then what you would do is take a toothpick and attach it from this side by kind of going up and underneath like this and pushing the clay up against the actual salmon. And then that would attach it. I will show you the paints that we'll be using tonight. There's 18 in this package. These can be, our acrylic paints can be bought at any art store. And I will show you the colors that we want to use. We want tan. We want black for the eye. We want white for the water and parts of the fish, light blue, and then we want to do blue. And I just want to make sure we have all the colors we need. And we need one more, pink. And now we can proceed to, well, before I do that, I want to show you the brushes that I'll be using. We want a nice one with a good point. We use this one here for the eye. We'll use this for the blue water. And we use these other two for the water. And then I'll use and take a couple more of these so I can do the fish's body. Just going to dab that. And now what we'll do, see the eye right there? We're going to put that right in right there. That looks nice. The next thing that we want to do is I want to paint the pink color on the fish and paint the pink color here. So I'll show you right here. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to dab it like that. And we're just going to go back and forth just like this. Just like that. So we're doing that there. And what I want to do is compare it to my other model. It looks like we have it just about right. I'm just going to touch it up a little bit. Put a little more here. See that? See how nice that looks? And now I'll proceed to do the tan. We're going to do the tail here. See how I'm doing that? Just paint that like that. I want to paint the mouth area. Get that like that. See how we're doing that? Just like that. I'm going to paint. I want to paint the fins. Just like that. Then I'll show you, we want to paint up here. that nice tan color. See, I'll show you. Just kind of go like that. Just like that, and we'll what I want to do is just paint these fins a little better. See, give them a little more color underneath like that. And then I'll show you the next thing that we want to do. What I'm going to do is this here. I'm going to paint the underside of the fish white right here. Just like that. Then we'll do the jaw. Put a little white under the jaw here. And then we'll take the blue here. See that? Now we're painting that nicely. Just like that. Back and forth, back and forth. I'm not going to paint the entire thing because I still need to hang on to it. But I just want to give you the idea. See how we do that? So I'm going to take this, I'm just going to dab it here and there. I'm going to put a little dab there, dab. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go back and do the white. Just make it look like a little bit of white water here and there. See that? And I will show you what the completed version of the coho salmon should look like. When it's completed, see how we did this? You got the nice tan up here. And I'm going to turn it around now. See how we got the tan jaws and all the fins are tan in color. You have the white underside. See how it's white and the white there? And then you can see the water, how we did the dark blue with the light blue and the white. And that's what the completed version of the coho salmon should look like. I do want to thank you for coming to Creations in Clay, and I do look forward to seeing you next week. Goodbye for now. Thanks.